Hi, my name is Tracy Matthews. I'm the liaison to the Business Advocacy Committee for the Campbell County Chamber of Commerce. Today I'm with Scott Matheny, and he's running for the office of sheriff. So good morning, Scott.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
So Scott, if you would like to do a brief introduction to the voters of Campbell County.
Sure. Well, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Scott Matheny. I am my kids are fourth generation kids that graduated through Campbell County High School. I've been in my family homesteaded up in the Recluse area, and I've been in this community all my life, and I love this community. I'm married to my lovely wife, Lori, for 35 years now. I better get that right. And I have 2 kids, and I have 4 grandkids and one on the way, a 5th one on the way. So it's kind of an exciting time. So,
thank you. So please outline your goals for the office you're running for.
Sure. First and foremost, because I have a passion for the job of law enforcement, I feel I have a lot to offer Campbell County as sheriff. My family homesteaded, like I said, in the Recluse area. My kids went to school here. I grew up in this community. It's a community that I've loved and I've been very, very involved with. And I wanted to continue. For the past 36 years, I have worked at the Campbell County Sheriff's Office. It's been my career, and I've loved every minute of it. And I still feel that there's a lot more that I have to offer the community of Campbell County as sheriff, and I look forward to doing that.
So talk to me about the most pressing issues for the office of sheriff.
Well, one of the biggest issues facing the sheriff's office are kind of the same issues our community is facing. And some of the recent decisions from the federal government, they have made my job as sheriff sometimes a little bit more difficult. But working with our community, I will fight to retain the constitutional rights, especially the First and Second Amendments, which are constantly under attack by governments, corporations, and federal agencies under the guise that they're trying to protect us. I believe our community has the common sense and the right to choose how they will protect themselves and their families, and the freedom to assemble like-minded citizens. And I'd like to quote the Supreme Court Justice Judge Alito said the other day. He wrote down in a Second Amendment ruling that he was issuing a ruling on. He says, "A criminal's crime has no relevancy to the right of a law-abiding American to own or carry a firearm." So just because they mess up doesn't mean we have to pay the price for that. And I thought that was a good ruling. So fighting for our Second Amendment rights, our First Amendment rights, it seems to be first and foremost right now on the minds of everybody out there. Another issue, the borders. The borders in our nation are unsecure. And with that comes an influx of people into our nation. And we feel that effect here in Campbell County. We feel the effect from drugs, violent crime, human trafficking. And those are some issues that I'm real passionate about. I mean, I'm involved with the National Sheriff's Association, the Western State Sheriff's Association, and the Wyoming Sheriff's Association on different capacities. And these are some of the issues that we are fighting for each and individual communities that the sheriffs are overseeing. We live in a great community, and our community supports our law enforcement, and our community has always had our back, and that's what's really cool. In our community, we live in a community that's 50 miles, or county that is 50 miles wide, 100 miles long, 5,000 square miles. So there's a lot of times the deputies out there by themselves, and maybe they're getting into an incident with somebody, and they need help, and backup may be miles and miles away. You know what the community does here? They jump in and they help out the law enforcement officers. In other communities, they just take out their phone and they videotape what's going on. And that's what's sad. And that's what, during the COVID restrictions, during the defund the police movements, our community stepped up to the plate and backed us. They were up at our office, at the sheriff's office, making sure that we had what we need to protect them, whether it was food, whether it was equipment, and that's what I love about our community. And I feel that those are pressing needs that still need to, as we go forward, but we have fostered that relationship with the community in lots of ways.
Thank you. So what experience do you have with big budgets, and how are you equipped to handle such a large budget?
That's a great question. Well, like I said, I have 36 years of law enforcement experience. I've done almost every facet of law enforcement that there is. I spent the last 8 years as sheriff overseeing a multi-million-dollar budget. I've spent the 12 years prior to that as the undersheriff, an integral part of overseeing the budget. And I have a degree a college degree in business administration with an emphasis in accounting. This may shock you. I worked in an accounting firm for a couple of summers, and that's what I wanted to get my degree in. But the sheriff at the time offered me a job, and I've been there ever since, 36 years later. And I've used that degree to help with the budget process. We've had to cut the budget on a couple of different occasions. I've had experience in that. I have had more experience I think, in the budget process than a lot of other people have. So I feel it's one of my strengths.
How are you going to work with the Campbell County Sheriff Office deputies to make sure that they're better suited to deal with people with mental illness?
That's a great question. Every officer, in whether you're detention or patrol, has to go through a basic training. And in that basic training, you go through the trainings of recognizing mental illness and how to deal with that. But that scope is big. There is a lot to that, okay? So that's just the basic training that we go through. By statute, we are mandated to, in some ways, how to deal with somebody that maybe is overtly trying to hurt themselves or trying to hurt somebody else. So if we're responding to a call, and we see that we recognize that's the problem, they are placed in a Title 25 hold, and they're either voluntarily or involuntarily admitted to the hospital where they could seek some treatment there. There's a process that they go through. Now, we also, especially in the jail, in the detention side, receive further training where officers are trained to recognize the different signs and symptoms of mental health issues or suicidal behaviors. That's important. We have officers that are trained in that area. Recently, the Campbell County Sheriff's Office have been working with the Campbell County Executive Director, Jane Glasser, and we've been working with Ashley McCrae with the Campbell County Suicide Coalition and members of the police department in forming critical incident teams. We've trained some of our officers to become CIT certified, and those officers are specialized in handling critical incidents. And they receive some of that mental health, suicide recognition training and pass that along to our other officers. We have formed a partnership with all the stakeholders in looking to host a training for every officer in November and December of this year. It's a great question because sometimes it feels like that the Campbell County Detention Center is a holding spot for the mental health people. And because of I feel the deficiency within our nation, within our state, and even within our community of treatments facilities and people to take care of the mental health issues that we have, they often end up in our facility. And we're constantly working with the state down in Evanston about getting treatments or evaluations done, and it seems like it's an issue not just in our community but throughout the community. So it's one that needs to be expanded on. It's one that needs to have some more attention to resources. Law enforcement has been tasked to respond to help keep people safe. But also, as an offshoot, it seems like they're asking us to do more with less. Sometimes because now they're asking us to house these people and to administer to the people that need this help, and it's not our job to do that. We want to make people safe. We want to make people feel comfortable, but it's like I said, a nationwide, statewide issue that needs to be addressed through legislation.
Thank you. Lastly, Scott, is there anything else that you would like the voters of Campbell County to know about you that we didn't talk about in our questions?
Again, I love this community. I am very active in the community. I believe strong with it. I believe it's built on partnership between the citizens and those that are elected to serve them. It's built on trust. And as sheriff, I think I've done that. I've built that trust up with the community. And I want to continue to build on those successes. I often tell new officers as they're coming into and getting started after they get sworn in, I say to them, you want to make a difference in this community, you want to be a good officer, here's what you do. You get involved. You are involved in the community. You're not above the community, you're not below the community, you are the community. So you be that neighbor that the kids run to the house to talk to. You be that, you go into the schools and be a coach. You go into the schools and you get actively involved in teaching, or you get actively involved in 4-H scouts. You show that you are a part of this community. And when doing so, when you do that, the public responds. And because we've been so successful at doing that, I believe that is why the community has rallied behind us. We're in the schools all the time, whether it's the DARE program, the SRO program. We have this new program called Forensic Friday. So every Friday, an officer goes to the high school and talks to them about their job, about what they do. And as a result of that, the program, the Forensic Friday program in the schools has expanded, but also the interest in law enforcement within the community has expanded as well. And by doing that, we have formed this partnership that we are part of the community. And this badge doesn't mean that you are all that in a bag of chips. This badge means that you are here to preserve and protect, and you to help the people of this community. And I've been doing that for 36 years, and I love that. And I love this community.
Thank you.
Thank you.